On this episode of the Common Constitutionalist podcast, I'll be discussing a rather odd happening between the radical left and evangelical Christians, rather strange bedfellows if I say myself. And also, is this the unluckiest island on the planet? Could very well be. Today on the Common Constitutionalist.
You're listening to the Common Constitutionalist, broadcasting from an undisclosed location, free from the prying eyes of establishment black helicopters.
So it's a well-known fact that the left hates religion. They hate everything about it. They hate the rules, they hate the morals, they hate everything that it stands for, except when it can be used to further their agenda. Case in point. We've all heard the Pope, Catholic Pope, yay for the socialist Pope. Sorry, Catholics, but yay for the socialist Pope. We all heard that he's a big climate change guy. Actually, he's a big redistribution guy. He's just a socialist is what he is. But now he's a big climate change guy. There's nothing worse than climate change, according to the Pope and his, whatever the heck that thing was he put out, encyclical, whatever that is. Again, as I stated many times before, I'm not Catholic, so I'll have to beg ignorance on that. But at any rate, we all know that the Pope has come out and basically said that climate change is heck worse than the Holocaust, or so. I don't know what he said, but it's something akin to that, which is completely and utterly ridiculous. But now it gets worse. Climate Progress, the dopey climate wing of the dopey Think Progress, put out a post on Friday, I believe it was, that more than 180 evangelical Christian leaders signed a letter this week backing President Barack Obama, yay, his plan to reduce carbon emissions from power plants, the latest effort in a growing faith-based environmental movement to curb the effects of climate change. Now, normally, anyone from Think Progress, and therefore from Climate Progress, their heads would explode just from merely writing faith-based anything, but not in this particular case because it advances their stupid global warming agenda. Throughout this entire article, I don't believe that the words global warming has ever come up. It is now officially climate change, period. At any rate, on Thursday, they write, ready for this? On Thursday, theologically conservative faith leaders sent a letter to President Obama endorsing the Environmental Protection Agency, the Nazi EPA, proposed Clean Power Plan, a sweeping historic project unveiled in June and set to be officially released next week. Signers of the letter, which was posted on the, Evangelical Environmental Network's website. Gee, really? Faith Christian leaders, the Evangelical Environmental Network, honestly? They framed their support in explicit moral terms. Yeah, okay. All right, now they're going to quote something from the actual letter from the Evangelical Environmental Network. That's a classic. Quote, here we go. We see overcoming the climate challenge. Here we go, the climate challenge. I didn't know it was so challenging. At any rate, we see overcoming the climate challenge as one of the great moral opportunities of our time, a chance to fulfill the great commandments to love God, our neighbors, and ourselves, the letter read. It is God's love that calls us all to take on this challenge. I can hardly get through this. Sorry, folks. This is why we write to offer our support and encouragement for your efforts to overcome the climate challenge. That's the new thing now. It's not climate change, it's the climate challenge. Oy vey. All right, so let's go let's go through this. The great commandments to love God, our neighbors, and ourselves. What in heaven's name does that have to do with the climate challenge? Loving God. So basically, if you don't sign on to Obama's climate change nonsense, the EPA's Clean Power Plan, you don't love God, your neighbor, or even yourself. My heavens, I guess I'm doomed. The group lauded the potential economic and health benefits of the CPP, which is the Clean Power Program, which, now dig this, yeah, baby, which will likely improve public health and reduce energy costs for most Americans by cutting carbon pollution by 30% from 2005 levels. Now, how in the heck is this going to do? Is the Clean Power Plan going to reduce my emission or my energy costs by 30%? Or, excuse me, by cutting pollution. How is it going to reduce energy costs at all? It's not, of course, going to reduce energy costs. Energy costs are going to skyrocket more and more and more. The more plants that Obama and the EPA Nazis close down, the more expensive energy is going to get. That's what happens. It's just basic free market economics. Well, it's not. It has nothing to do with free market. It's basic economics, period. If you have more of something, it costs less. If you have less of something, it costs more. It's very basic stuff. I know it. My children know it. My pet probably knows it. They can figure this out, but neither the Obama administration can, nor Think Progress or Climate Progress, nor the Evangelical Environmental Network. Yeah, I bet these guys are real what do they call them? Conservative faith leaders. Yeah, I'm sure they're conservatives. Yep. And of course, there is never a description of how they're going to reduce energy costs for most Americans. It's going to be for no Americans, but the government, they don't care. They'll just get their power, whatever, and pass on the cost to us. And we, tax-paying individuals, will fit the bill for this nonsense, and then we'll also be charged more by energy companies because they got no coal-fired power plants, and that's the least expensive energy. So how they're going to do this is smoke and mirrors as usual. They're going to claim, just like Obamacare is going to, what was Obamacare going to save us? $2,500 each a year or something like that. And it is skyrocketed, tripled, quadrupled in places. It's just insanity. Same with this. Any of these leftist plans, you just hide your wallets, lock up your wallets, because that's what's going to happen. They don't care. They know, whether they know or not, what's going to happen. And they may not. That's the scary part about this, is that they do these, they have these projects that they put forth because that's what their ideology tells them that they must do, and they're never held to account, and it never works. But it doesn't matter. As long as the ideological agenda is met and advanced, it doesn't matter. Nothing beyond the wow, I can't say that for crap. Ideological agenda. Try saying that. Heck, I can't even say it one time, much less 3 times fast. But beyond that point, it doesn't make any difference. The end, it doesn't matter. The means, it does. The means we already know. The end, we know. They may not. They may. They don't care one way or the other. Doesn't matter to them. And now these phony evangelicals, I'm going to call them phony evangelicals, but because I can guarantee you that you read anything in the Bible and it's going to say nothing about saving the planet. We all want to be good stewards for the planet, but believe you me, there's not a darn thing that we can do to kill the planet. There's nothing we can do to cause the climate to change. Why do you think, why would anyone think that they had to shift the talking points from global warming to climate change to now climate challenge, because it's not warming. They know it. We know it. That's why they had to change the name. Don't change it. Don't change the agenda. The agenda stays the same. It's just the name changes. And they are hoping that people are stupid enough, literally stupid enough, not to figure out what's happening. Unfortunately, from what I understand from most polls, and I don't like polls for the most part, but from most polls and people who are interviewed about political agenda items, out of, say, 20, 25 items that people care about, climate change, global warming, climate chaos, climate catastrophe, climate challenge, however way you want to word it, is dead last or darn near. If it's out of 25, it's 24 or 25 consistently. If it's out of 20, it's 19 and 20 consistently. That's the way it works. But they don't care. The popularity is of no account to these people. The agenda is all that matters. Now, Climate Progress, goes on to say that the letter also draws a connection between draws a connection between a pro-life position and support for green initiatives, noting that nearly 230,000 pro-life Christians have contacted the EPA to express support for the plan. Again, that's a lie. I'm sorry, but that's just out. It's got to be a blatant lie. Nobody is going to take unless you're an activist, unless you're a lefty radical activist, no one is going to take the time to call the EPA to voice an opinion one way or the other about the EPA's plan. And they're certainly not going to call in support and say, I just wanted to call and say, you save that. Save us from the climate challenge. Save us all. You go. I can't remember who the EPA director is, whether it's a girl or a guy, but you go, girl. Save that climate. They're not going to do it. It's a freaking lie. I guarantee you. There may have been, so many activists. There may have been computer-generated call. Who knows how they're bogusing this thing up? But I guarantee you that there's no way that that's true. No chance. So, anywho, they say that Obama's climate action plan. I love that. Everything's got to be action to the left. We got to have some action, baby. We don't have to do anything. It's just action for the sake of action. At any rate, so Obama's climate change or climate action plan, when fully implemented, will, number one, position America to lead the world in the coming clean energy revolution. Okay. Yeah, that's because we're going to be the only one left now that Europe is suffering mightily because of their green revolution that's failed so miserably. Take a look at Spain, why don't you, when you have a chance. Look up Spain's green energy project. Look up Germany's green energy project. Frankly, the only one that's doing any good is France, because they have so many freaking nuclear energy plants that they're good to go, as far as I know, unless they're closing them down for their green energy initiative in France. Number two, it will create good jobs here in America. No, it won't. It already hasn't. What already has happened is that thousands and thousands of people have been laid off, fired, or otherwise let go because they're closing plants left and right, and they're not being rehired, except for maybe at Walmart for $15 an hour. No, whatever. It will, number three, reduce pollution that fouls our air and makes our water impure. Well, who wouldn't be for that? Who wouldn't be reducing pollution that fouls the air, and who doesn't like pure water? I know conservatives like nasty air and dirty water. That's what we love, apparently. And here we go. Here we go. It's for the children's. Number four is to protect the health of our children and the unborn. Holy crap. I'm sorry, I didn't read this ahead of time, folks, so I'm flabbergasted. Are you effing kidding me? Excuse me. But really? We're going to protect the health of the children and the unborn. All right, I'm going to stop right here because I can't stand it anymore. This is just the most absurd thing I've ever heard. After what we've seen, heard, witnessed on video and in audio of Planned Parenthood, and these a-holes are going to tell us that they're going to protect the unborn. You sorry sons of guns, I can't even believe you guys have the temerity, the gall, to put something like this forward with a straight face. Are you kidding me, man? Whew. Take a breath, baby. Take a breath. All right. In, out, breathe, breathe. And number 5, build resiliency to the consequences of climate change, both here and in vulnerable poor nations. No, they won't. They're going to make the poor nations even poorer because they're going to tell them that they can't use any kind of dirty energy, their words, dirty energy, to advance their societies. So they're going to be kept dirt poor, eating dirt sandwiches like the what was that thing? Haiti. That's right, where they're actually eating dirt I mean, it's not even funny, man. It's tragic. But that's what these poor third world countries are going to remain because of the global climate agenda. It's all such crap. And the Pope, I'm sorry, Catholics, but the Pope is a dope. And the evangelical leaders, I don't know if they're real evangelicals. I don't know what they are, but I guarantee you they're not conservative Christian leaders because nobody in their right mind would be for this nonsense.
You're listening to the Common Constitution. Let the truth be known.
Okay, so if you are looking to go on a tropical vacation, do not go to La Réunion Island off the coast of, I think it's off the coast of right off southeastern Madagascar. That's where the wreckage of the plane, the MH370 Malaysian Airlines plane, the debris washed up on the island. And apparently this island is, it may not be the unluckiest place in the world, but it ain't a great place to visit, and it certainly doesn't appear to be a great place to live. So they got to this island. They're checking for debris that washed up and whatever. And now all of a sudden, I think it was Friday morning, just this past Friday morning, when a volcano erupts. They're searching for the wreckage around the island, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this volcano erupts, and the government of La Réunion Island, I guess it's I don't know if it's French-owned or French-controlled still. It's a colony. I'm not sure what the deal is, and don't have the slightest interest to look it up, to be honest with you. But the government of La Réunion Island, I love this, imposed a ban on access to the volcano, which is currently exploding. Yeah, so this is the government. The volcano is erupting, so you probably shouldn't go up there to watch. Good warning. So the searchers around the island either had to evacuate or move to another part of the island, as well as residents, and if they have tourists to try, whatever. I don't know what they got going on La Réunion Island. But it ain't a happy place, apparently. So this volcano erupts, and so if it's hot lava that's flowing down the mountain, where should you go? I mean, you're on an island, right? Maybe you should go. Maybe you should go to the sea. That'll keep the volcanic eruption from getting to you, right? The problem is shark attacks. Maybe this is the unluckiest place in the world. They've had 18 shark attacks around the island over the past 4 years. Recently, there's been a rash of them. And so if you're one of the searchers looking for the wreckage, you see the volcano blow. This isn't really funny. It's tragic, I understand. But, what are you going to do? So you're searching for this stuff. You see, I'm sorry. It's just cracking me up. You see the volcano erupt, and you run to the beach. Everybody into the ocean, and then the sharks eat you up. What the heck, man? Where are you gonna go? You're on an island. I mean, talk about being stuck between a rock and a hard place. That's a tough one, man. How do I want to die today? Do I want to get overthrown by overrun by lava, or do I want to get eaten by a shark? There's 1,000 ways to die on La Réunion Island. Apparently, just last week, a man had, what did they say here? The Daily Mail reported that a man had a good chunk of his arm torn off while surfing the coast. And in April, there was another shark attack. It killed a 13-year-old boy. And after the incident, I guess the government of France approved increased fishing of tiger and bull sharks in the marine reserve off the island. I guess there's a marine reserve. You're not allowed to kill the sharks. So now they're overrunning the place. They're going to take them off. Hopefully they don't grow legs, or they're in real trouble. One of the not so happy restaurant managers, his name is Guillaume Lelotte. I guess this is French-owned island or French island or whatever. They told the UK Guardian that our newspapers only ever write about car crashes, volcanic eruptions, and shark attacks. Man, what a dreadful place. So maybe this discovery will draw a different type of attention to the island. Yeah, that's great. Come find debris, get eaten by a shark, die in a car wreck, and get overrun by volcanic ash and lava. What a great vacation destination. What is that hotels.com thing? Probably wouldn't give them a very, very good rating. So the Daily Mail also writes that the volcano that erupted, the government of La Réunion imposed a ban on the access to Piton de la Fournaise volcano, whatever. After the eruption, they say it's not clear how severe the eruption was. Well, I've seen pictures of this daggum thing, and it's pretty clear to me. It's blackened hillsides. It's run into the valley. It's a complete freaking disaster. So I don't know what they're looking at. They're there. I'm not. But I've seen pictures of this, and it's pretty bad. So if there was any other wreckage to to find inland, they ain't going to find it now. It's buried. So if you are looking for a vacation destination in I think this is the Indian Ocean. I don't think it's the South China. I guess it's the Indian Ocean off Madagascar. If you're looking for a off the beaten path vacation destination, here's one not to choose. La Réunion Island, where you can get volcanoes erupting, car crashes, and shark attacks. It's like Disney World. What a great deal without the rides. Well, I guess the car crash would be one of the rides. So anyway, that's all. I'm a little punchy today. I don't know what the deal is, but that's all I got today. And this is a Common Constitutionalist signing off. And y'all have a great day.